Shalom, shalom, Shabbat Top Award. Coming at you with another cold cut, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, for Hashem Mashiach Omalaki Yahweh. Right? And today we're going into staying occupied. Because with the times running rampant, right? I mean, there's no time for idleness. There's no time to be slothful. There's no time to wait around. There's no time to not be busy and doing something for the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Right? Let me get this precept real fast in Matthew. Right. Let's see what I'm looking for. Right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12. Right? And it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? So if iniquity is abounding, right, that means you got to do more and more work in order to rise above that iniquity and that evilness. Right? Otherwise, it's going to overcome you, man. Right? Look what happened to so many different people of the Lord. Right? That was of the Lord. When iniquity was on the rise, they didn't rise to the occasion to overcome it. Right? That's why the Lord said you got to stay occupied. Right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 19. I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Right? But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. So you got to understand, man, right? As the workmen of Yahweh Shai, right, and the workmen of the Most High, we're in a land full of people that don't want the Lord to reign over them. Right? It's our job as the Lord's salesman to tell these people why our product is better than the product that comes with America. Better than the product that comes with Europe. Better than the product that comes with Jamaica and all of the different lands that we're scattered in, man. Better than the product that comes from our oppressors, right? Because our people envy their oppressors. Let me get this precept real fast in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Right? Our people envy their oppressors. They see the increase that they have. They see the so-called blessings that they think they have. Right, and our people want to flock to everything that Esau may provide, but they don't understand that it's a time to cast away stones, roughly paraphrasing Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Right, and right now is to cast away the stones of our oppressors and gather together the stones. I'm going to get that precept real fast. And to gather together the stones, right, of the Most High. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. That's the time that we in, man. The Lord said it's a time for everything under the sun. Right? And the times that we in right now is the times of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. A time of throwing things away, gathering together new things. Right? Keep reading. It says a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. Right? And when you read on, it says a time to love, a time to hate, war and peace, man. Those are the times that we're going into right now, that we're living in live and in person, right? It's a time to cast certain things away and a time to bring certain things in. Right now, we got to cast away the mindset of our oppressors. We got to cast away the love that we have for them, right? We got to cast away the thought process they've given us. Because so many of our people, right, believe and operate in white supremacy and we don't even know it. Even people in the truth operate in white supremacy and we don't even know it, huh? Because you've been completely brainwashed by our oppressor and you have to be re-brainwashed by the Lord, huh? You got to wash your brain, which is why it says that you got to be born of water. That water washes you with a first birth, man. Right? And the Spirit of the Lord is the only thing that can actually rewash our people, rewash their minds and turn them into a new creature. Right? So Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Our people are so busy being focused and buying the product that comes from Esau, man. Buying everything that Esau might provide, whether that be his mindset, his rules, right? Focused on building in his occupations, right? His traditions. That's what our people are focused on, man. Esau's government. However, we have to occupy ourselves in the government of the Most High and the agency of the Lord, man, and how to build and commerce spiritually with God, right? going back to Luke the 13th chapter, it says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered unto them 10 pounds. You got to find out what your pound is, man. Right? What's the pound that the Most High gave you? What's the gift that he gave you? Your gift might be brotherhood. If your gift is brotherhood, well then, hey, you got to take that brotherhood, you got to multiply it into something else. Right? Brotherhood can lead into a multitude of different facets. Right? Because it can start off as just brotherhood, and because I'm so good with brothers, well, now I know how to grab brothers, get more brothers together, man. I could be a part of outreach. Right? I can be a part of feast days, planning those and getting those together. Right? I can be a part of counseling when brothers have differences that they can't come eye to eye on, man. Right? You can take these different pounds that the Most High gave you. He delivered to every man a pound, man. And it's your job to turn that pound into more things, right? But it's all about being occupied in the Lord. The same way how brothers find a way to create different businesses and different jobs and different avenues to make sure that their lives are straight in the world we live in now. That's what you have to do spiritually on the right-hand side to find out, how can I increase in this truth? How can I bring more value to this truth, right? Because people ain't going to come, you got to think that people without not going to come to this truth if they don't see value in it, man. Right? And although it's all about the Spirit of the Lord, the messenger has always been important anytime you read the Bible, man. Real fast, I'm going to go to Songs of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. The messenger has always been important, right? The Most High has always had a messenger and a mediator between him and man. I got several precepts. I'm gonna go to 1 Samuel, the 9th chapter first, and then I'm gonna go back to Songs of Solomon. This is the first book of 1 Samuel, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse number 9. It says, before a time when a man went to inquire of God, thus he spake, come and let us go to the seer, for he that is his prophet was before a time called the seer. Right? So it's always been a mediator between man and God, right? You got to make sure that you're a good mediator. Because Ahithophel, when you read when it talks about his counsel, there were times where his counsel sounded like it came from God. I'm going to get that precept real fast in 1 Samuel. Right? But then there was a time when the Most High confounded his counsel. You got to make sure that your counsel is coming directly from the Most High God, man. It might be 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, I believe, the 15th chapter. Right? It's the book of, see that? Once it's past there. Salakia. 2 Samuel chapter 16 at verse 23. It says, in the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracles of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. Right? So the counsel of Ahithophel outside of the time he was confounded, man, it's like if you directly talked to a man of God. Like Isaiah, when he said, thus saith the Lord, is a direct answer. There were times where the Most High told Isaiah to go back and tell Hezekiah this. Right? Straight from the Lord's mouth, a direct message just for Hezekiah. You got to be that person, man. You got to be so with the Lord that when you can go to these different people, it's like they talking directly to the Most High, man. Right? Which is why it's so important for us to be occupied in the work of the Most High. Because the same way you practice in anything else, right? Above all, it's going to always be the Spirit of the Lord. The Spirit of the Lord is going to help you to conquer all. That's 2 Chronicles chapter 14 and verse 11, man. Right? Maybe 1 Chronicles 14 and 11. But it's going to always be the Spirit, so I can, and 2 Chronicles 15 and 2. Right? It's going to always be the Spirit of the Lord, right? That's going to help you to conquer all. Right? But reading on Songs of Solomon chapter 3, right? And verse 3, it says, the watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth. It was a little, but I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. And I held him, and I would not let him go. Right? So the people that he found whom his soul loveth, right, was the watchmen, the men that were doing the work, the men that were occupied in the work of the Lord, no? Or which is why it's so important for you to be occupied in the work of the Lord. You got to be that vessel to bring more people in. Right? We say this all the time in the body, man. The kingdom of heaven ain't just for the men to build. The women got to build the kingdom of heaven too. Right? They got to do their due diligence. Mary Magdalene was doing her due diligence, man. Right? Deborah was doing her due diligence. You had many women in the Old Testament and in the New Testament that did their due diligence and their part in building what we trying to build, called the kingdom of heaven. Working with these different men of the Lord. Huh? Right? When you read in Judges chapter 5 and verse 7, right? Because a lot of women want to know what a prophetess is. Right? When you read in Judges, right, and it calls her a prophetess. Let me see if I can find a precept where it calls her a prophetess. Judges chapter 4 and verse 4, it says, and Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged in Israel at that time. So a lot of women say, oh, I'm a prophetess, I'm a prophetess. Do you know what is required of a prophetess? Right? To be a prophetess is to be the exact opposite of what all of these female Christian pastors are, who damn, right after they get out of church, they go and get a damn crab boil, which is the most obese thing in the world, man. I heard a brother saying this one time before. A crab boil is the most obese thing on the planet. You go and get an animal from every corner of the earth, man. You go and get a damn crab, a sausage, corn, a potato. What else they throw in there? Some sauce, sticks and sticks of butter. You might as well go ahead and throw an apple pie in there and then put it in a bag. And you know it's disgusting because you got to eat it with gloves. And these Christian pastor women, right after they get out of church, lying to the masses of people, go and get this most disgusting, obese crab boil bag, right, and just eat it, saggy and all, man. Right? To be a prophetess, I'm going to read in Judges chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, the inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel. This is when Israel is in its detriment. It says, until Deborah, arose a mother in Israel. You taking care of the poor? You taking care of the sisters? You taking care of the brotherhood? Right? You doing your job within for the body? You doing your job without? Are you in the body? Right? Because when Deborah was tasked with a job, the first thing she did was went and got Barak. Or what are you doing? Who are you going to get? Right? What occupation are you doing in the Lord, man? When you read Proverbs, the 31st chapter, Proverbs 31 is talking about a working woman. Let me get that real fast. Proverbs 31, right? Sisters go to Deuteronomy 28 and be like, oh, well, you know, we got to be so delicate. You can put your feet on the ground. Yeah, this is not that time, huh? Right, this is the time when your feet finna have to get muddy, right? Your feet finna have to get dirty, and you're gonna have to be a Proverbs 31 woman, which is a working woman, right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and verse 17. It says, she girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms, right? She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, her candle goeth not out by night, right? So when it says that she perceiveth that her merchandise is good, that's talking about all of the attributes that she brings to the table. And when it says that her candle goeth not out by night, because she understands that when you look into what a candle in the window means, right? A candle in the window means that it's a welcoming place. It's a place for travelers, right? And with this candle, when it says that her candle goeth not out by night, this means that she understands that her home is going to always be a place for her man to come home to, man. She knows her man is going to come home, right? Because her merchandise is good. What type of merchandise do you bring to the table? Are you always in strife, right? Verse 13, it says, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Is you one of them type of sisters that's just like, nah, I don't got to do no work. I ain't got to do nothing. My man got to cover it all. Let's say if he is the one working, where you over the finances, right? It's not just about cooking and cleaning, man. Because to keep it a buck, a lot of men can cook better than y'all women, and I know y'all not going to like that. I know y'all not gonna like that. A lot of brothers, the food from the brothers that I've had is always better than the food from the sisters, man. Right? And then when you look at, and this is the cut to where y'all always saying, we was talking about this last night, cooking and cleaning. Not only do the brothers' food be better, but sister, I'm gonna ask you, how do your bathroom counter look, man? Sis, how do your bathroom counter look? And I know how it look. Them counters be dirty, man. Right? So it's not always just about cooking and cleaning, man. Right? What are you doing for more than just your man? Deborah, she had a husband. And even though she had a husband, not only did she serve her husband, but she still served Israel. Right? So it's not your job just to be at home cooking and cleaning. What are you doing for the nation? Right? You go to Sirach chapter 19 real quick. Not 19, I think it's like 39. Right? Sirach, the 39th chapter. Bear with me. I got precept in Sirach 33 as well. The book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out wisdom, the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. Are you occupied in prophecies? Are you occupied in seeking out the wisdom of the ancients? Right? And that's to you brothers too, man. Who you getting counsel from? Who you asking questions to? Right? You damn going and asking counsel of a 19-year-old that you cool with, who ain't never been through nothing. Brother still digging his nose and kind of ball it up and flick it off. Like, nah, man, who you getting counsel from, man? Right? Who are you going to in your times of need, man? Like, oh, we gotta lean on the brother. You need to get counsel from the ancients, man. You gotta meditate on the wisdom of the Lord, on the law of the Most High. Right? But first, you also need the breakdowns on the law of the Most High, man. But what is these laws going into? You got to ask questions. Brothers leading on their own counsel, just coming up with stuff. Not just brothers, but sisters too. Right? That's why so many divorces just be happening in Israel, man. Y'all just be doing what y'all want. Marriages be salvageable, yet through the hardness of y'all heart, y'all just, no, I just can't do it no more, brother. I can't do it no more. Yet you ain't never took her out on a date. You ain't never did the things that she complaining about. But she the issue about complaining about these things she been asking about for 4 years. And it's just all over the place, man. And it's unlawful for you to leave. Right? Don't ever come to us and think that we're going to give you the green light to leave your significant other. It's not happening. Not in this body, man. You got to stay and you got to figure it out. But because you're not occupied in the law of the Most High and in his wisdom and in these scriptures and getting the counsel and learning from the ancients, the wisdom of the ancients, right? You don't know how to deal with these problems, bro. That's why you're so full of anxiety. That's why you're so depressed. That's why you feel like you're not growing and getting nowhere, man. What are you occupied in? Right? It's the book of Sirach. And it's my last precept, chapter 33 and verse 27. Right? But not 37, but 27. See, I want to start earlier. I'm going to start at verse 26. It says, a yoke and a collar do bow the neck, so are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Ask yourself, are you always jammed up? And if you are you an evil servant to the Most High? And don't just ask yourself that, ask another brother that, man. Because you're going to always lie to yourself. Brothers try to go to Sirach, 37, where it say, let the counsel of thy heart stand. Listen, the counsel of your heart is bad counsel. You don't understand your own counsel. Don't lean into your own counsel. Right? You don't damn self-diagnose yourself physically, so don't self-diagnose yourself mentally or spiritually. Go and get a brother to examine you and let that brother or sister, right, tell you, man, this is what you got. You don't listen. They tell you, man, listen, you don't listen. And then you know what you do with that? Man, no, I do listen. I do. That's you not listening. Shut your mouth, man. That's the thing Israel got to learn how to do. You're a wicked servant, and that's why the Most High is jamming you up. Because Even though we talk about Job, Job wasn't jammed up his whole life like you are, man. You jammed up your whole life. You always jammed up. Job got jammed up that one time when all that stuff had happened to him. Before that, he lived a happy life. After that, he lived a happy life. The Most High tried him at one point in time. Same with Abraham. Same with all of these men. They wasn't as jammed up as you always are. You're not Job. You're not Job. Right? Stop trying to go to Job to be like, oh, the Most High is just trying you. You're an evil servant, and the Most High is jamming you up with the yoke and with chains, man. Right? So it says, a yoke and a collar do bow the neck, so are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much wickedness, man. You too idle. You too bored. You got to find something to do, man, in righteousness. Come to the brothers that give you something to do, man. It's more than enough work. The Lord said, pray to the God of the harvest, right? For more laborers. Because the work is great, but the laborers are few. Right? But meditate on that. Meditate on these precepts. I bid you a shalom, right? And peace and blessings, Israel.